Hi, I'm Howard Tipton, Town Manager of Longboat Key, and welcome to Tip Talks. This is a monthly segment where we talk about all things Longboat Key. And today I am joined by Steve Sauers. Steve, thank you for being here.
Great to be here, Howard.
Steve is part of our Shorebird Monitoring Program. He's the coordinator for that, so welcome. We're glad to have you. Cyndi Seamon. She is our Vice President of Turtle Watch here on Longboat. And we're today talking about the wildlife that we have on the town's largest park, which is our beach, right? Gulf of Mexico. This is why we're here. And so we want to talk about the animals that are here and how we need to work to protect them. So let's talk a little bit about the fact that we are a Shorebird Sanctuary. Steve?
Sure. Well, as many people know, when they come to the beach, they see a lot of bird activity on the beach, and it's for a variety of reasons. Partly because the birds are trying to feed and they associate food with people, so that causes aggregation. But more importantly, from a reproductive point of view, is that the birds utilize the beach for their nesting requirements. And so they arrive to these beaches during this time of year in the springtime to initiate their breeding behavior. And that's when the disturbance factors that affect them negatively are so important to control or restrict. So that's part of the seasonality of dealing with the breeding birds. On the other hand, we have birds that overwinter on these beaches. They use the beaches as a focus of refuge for resting and for foraging for food, because they're migrating long distances across the geographic areas of not only North America but South America. And their flyways take them over Longboat Key. They settle down and rest here, they feed here, and then they move on. So even during the winter months, those refuges are important to restrict or prohibit disturbance from human-related activities.
Well, I know we take our shorebird nesting seriously, because in our Greer Island spit dredging that we did, I'm having a hard time talking today. In our Greer Island spit dredging that we did last year, we actually had to postpone it because we had both shorebird nesting and turtle nests. So we were very conscious about all of that. Well, thank you for that. Yeah. Cyndi, tell us a little bit about the turtles. We're getting ready for turtle season here.
So we actually start walking on Monday looking for turtle activity. And, we want to keep the beaches natural. So both our turtles and our birds, that's where they lived, when they're nesting. And we want to make sure that they have a good place to make that nest. The birds that nest on the beach, who would have thought that you put a little hole in the sand and that's where you put an egg? I had no idea until I moved down to Florida. So our turtles come up and we don't want any disturbances. So they are nesting at night, so our beaches should be closed and dark and not have any activity that should disrupt them. But we also, in the daytime, we don't want anything digging into nests. So that's kind of a thing that we have to make sure that it stays natural.
That's perfect. And so that talks about the responsibility that we have as kind of caretakers, right, for the future. And so we want to make sure that we're not disrupting the birds, that we're not disrupting the nests. And I was walking on the beach this morning, as I typically do, picking up trash, and there were some dog prints, footprints on the beach. And so somebody had been out there early in the morning or last night walking their dog. And so really the dog is the number one issue that I think we're dealing with. They are naturally going to, many of them, chase after the birds. And they like to dig as well. And so we want folks to know that dogs on longboats, beaches, are not allowed. Unless it's a certified service animal, no dogs are allowed on the beach or even at the beach access points. And it's important. It makes a difference. These are any dog, even the best behaved dog. And I'm going to show you a picture. It's going to come up on the screen now of the dog that I had, Chocolate Lab. Gorgeous dog named Buddy, kindest dog in the world. But he would have been out here making a mess of everything. Well-intentioned, but that was just his nature. And so even the best behaved dogs really are seen as a predator by the animals that live out here. And so we want to make sure that we're removing that, and that is a town ordinance. And so you can be fined up to $500 for a repeated offense. We don't want the money. What we want is for our animals to be safe, and that's what this is all about. And so we can't encourage you enough to take your dogs where they are allowed, and that is Durant Park, which is it's our largest park. It's one of the nicest parks, nice open spaces for dogs to be on a leash. And then Bayfront Park as well is an excellent park for the animals. And if you want to take them off leash, there is a dog park at Bayfront Park, which is outstanding. And it is a perfect environment for the dogs to run and play and do all the things that dogs like to do, just not on the beach. And that's why we have actually Bayfront Dog Park. It was really an alternative to bringing dogs to the beach. We wanted to make sure we provide that. So our number one goal is protecting the shorebirds while they're resting or while they're nesting. And then as we get into turtle season, which is May 1st to
October 31st.
October 31st. Not that the turtles always know the calendar as well. They can be early or late, just like the birds. But our job as the residents and visitors to Longboat Key, our job is to protect the wildlife is here for the future. And that's what we do. We're caretakers. So please, no dogs on the beach. Enjoy it though. We want you to have fun. Enjoy this natural beauty that we have. And I want to thank both of you for the service that you provide, because you're up early, you're out late. Same thing with the turtles. They're nesting at night and they're hatching at night once the sand cools down. And so, all of this happens because we have so many good people involved. And so I want to thank you both for your time and your efforts to help make Longboat so special.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Howard.
So with that concludes our tip talk for the day. Again, get out, enjoy the beaches, just don't bring the animals. And with that, we'll see you next time. Until then, be well.